Hey fam, what's going on? Wise on Purpose family. KJ London, Elijah,
Hey everybody.
representing for the rest of the clique, the rest of the fam. Alright, so it's been a while since I talked to you guys. I want to tell you guys about an experience I had, a dream that I had, and it has really opened my eyes up to a whole nother level of perspective about the God we serve. So, in this dream, I'm here on the earth. I remember bits and pieces about this part of it. I was on the earth just doing normal things. I believe I was with my family, and then in some way or another during that dream, I get almost like vacuumed up, and I saw myself traveling at this incredible rate of speed. And I knew that I traveled, but it went so fast that the next thing you know, it was like boom, it was like I was placed down. When I looked up, I was inside the throne room of God. Now, there was a pillar that was right here, like this enormous pillar. And when I looked up, probably about 30 yards away in this line of vision here, I saw God. I saw Yahweh. I saw Jehovah. I saw him. I saw this incredible being sitting on a throne. He was enormous. He is not a man. He was enormous. He was if he would have stood up, he was a giant. He would easily have been a telephone pole, 2 telephone poles in height. Now I imagine he could make himself as large or small as he wants to. But this is what I saw. He was seated on a throne. He had on a white robe. And what I saw looked like, I'm not sure what you call it, but it was like a cloth was thrown around his shoulders, and it was hanging down. It was like royal bluish or royal, like kingly.
Was it like a shawl or?
Yeah, I guess something like that. Like I said, it had this color. It was incredible color to it. That just gave off authority, kingly, royal. He had a crown on. I saw a crown, and I saw jewels around this crown. I did not see his face. I saw hair. It was white hair. It was so beautiful. It was white hair, and it was like wavy and curly at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense. This is what I saw. He was seated on this throne. He was sitting very still. Because of that pillar, I could not see anything but him, but I could tell that over to my left, it was very, very, very busy in that throne room in front of him. It was a lot of activity there. Okay, when I saw him around his throne, at the base of the throne, and it was huge. There was a cloud around the base of the throne, and there were lightning bolts shooting out of that cloud in every which direction, all the way around it, encircling it. And then I saw it, and it transformed. It changed into fire, like this raging fire, all the way around that throne. When I saw that, and I saw this being sitting on that chair, I ran behind this pillar over here, and I hid myself because it was scary. It scared me. It made me fearful. So when I went behind this pillar, there was almost instantly a strength that I gained. And listen, the fear that I felt, it wasn't like, watching the Boogeyman movie, a horror movie, something like that. It wasn't that kind of fear. It was like the fear and reverence for authority, times a trillion and then some. But it was like this being on this throne is not to be played with in any kind of way. He was that powerful, and yet he was gentle. And when I went and hid behind that pillar because I was afraid, I felt this strength come on me, and then I stepped back out from behind the pillar, and I looked over towards the throne, and something came from within me that I didn't initiate from myself. And it's going to be hard to understand that thinking in the natural, because even it shocked me when it happened. Something came from deep down within me, and I spoke words without moving my lips, and it uttered out, and this is what came out. I said, "Hey, Dad." And it shocked me when I said that, because I remember looking like, where did that come from? And it was from the deepest parts of me. It came up like that. And when his response, he didn't verbally say anything, but there was this wave of pure acceptance. Like, you belong to me, and I love you. I love you. You belong to me. It was cherishment. It was like acceptance, and it felt so good and weird at the same time, because you don't feel that on the earth. These two people love me the most in the world, and yet we're in the flesh, and it's like, you make me mad sometimes, blah 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 blah, whatever it is. But it's like God is there's a different kind of love. God doesn't see you the way you see yourself, and the reason I'm saying it is when I felt that come from Him, my thought just after that was, yeah, but I'm not perfect. Yeah, but I did this a few days ago, or whatever. Anything that was coming up to cause condemnation. And it was like, no, it was like, I don't see you the way you see yourself. You know what I'm saying? God sits outside of time and eternity, and He looks down, and He knows who's for Him. He knows. He can tell the difference who's for Him. He can tell the difference for people who are not for Him. He can tell the pretenders from the real ones. He can tell. And they don't always fit in the categories that you think they should fit in. So, all right. There's more. Immediately after this, I saw this figure like in a robe just run past my line of vision. Shoo! And I looked, and then I was prompted from that throne, go and see. And so I went and followed this individual. Now, I don't know if it was an angel. I know some angels don't have wings. This being did not have wings. They had on a robe. This being dove down into this body of water. And it was like, from that throne, it was like, go and see. And so I was like, okay, let's go see. And I ran over there, and I dove down in this water. This water was the clearest water that I have ever seen. It was to the point you could see down as far as you could see. And as we was going down in this water, somehow I was easily able to move through this water like a dolphin, a super dolphin. And the water, it went from clear, and then it turned pinkish, and then it turned like reddish orange, and then we hit the bottom of the water, which ended up being the ceiling, poof, and landed inside of this cave. It was a dark, rocky cave. It had a river, a stream, I would say, of liquid fire, lava, running through it. And in that fire, I saw people being tormented. I saw in that fire, this surprised me too, I saw a demon being tormented in that fire. And he wasn't having a good time. And so I looked this way. Now this being was up here close to the ceiling, and I was standing on the ground, and I looked and I saw that in that cave where that river was coming from, it was an opening and it was like the darkest of dark. It was like thick black darkness, and I felt from this being, this spiritual being, it was an angel or an ambassador in heaven, I'm not sure, but whatever it was like they were saying, you can go and see if you want. And so I turned around and I looked. I might have took a step or two, and then it just hit me. This was a revelation to me. It was like I turned around. I said, you know what? I don't want to see, because I knew that whatever was happening back there was far worse than what I was seeing right here. It was way worse, and it was very dark, and it was the absence of light and goodness completely. It was like the darkness was like a living thing, like a fog that covered the entrance to this, cave or whatever, or the entrance, whatever it was in there. So okay, the revelation to me that I got out of that was like, I have this little tiny curiosity, like I wanted to see more, see this, see this. It's like, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it, because I can only imagine what that would do to somebody. So, okay, I said no. I declined it. Next thing you know, we went back up through the ceiling, which was water, back up, and plopped down back in the same place in that throne room. And then I woke up. After that. I sat there and I stared at the ceiling for 15, 20 minutes, just like wow. And I've gotten so much confirmation and revelation out of that dream since then. Just different things I've heard and listened to and talked to, and that have come to me. Just confirmation that this was God given. But what I remember the most, what stood out more than anything, was the acceptance that God had towards me. It was like God does not see you the way you see yourself. So, thoughts. Not everybody at once. Mm-hmm.
I think that oftentimes it's very easy to be like, "Ooh, Lord, I want to see this. Lord, I want to see this." Like, "Ooh, I'm excited. But not if you don't need to see.
I ain't never asking him to see.
Like Jesus said, "Blessed are those who believe without seeing." And I was sipping that Kool-Aid for a little while. "Oh Lord, I want to see this." And blah, blah, blah. Now I said, "Lord, I don't gotta see nothing. I don't gotta see it. I believe you are the Messiah. I believe you are the Son of God. I believe your Father raised you from the dead. I don't have to see nothing, Lord. If you want to show me something, if it's in your will, let it be done." But I was like, "God, I don't need to see hell. I don't need to see heaven." I saw the rapture. I experienced it. A portion. It was not pleasant at all. And I was like, "All right, Lord, I don't need to see nothing else."
And see, I like everybody's, not everybody, but I've a lot of the rapture dreams or visions people have had have been like not good. Mine was actually incredible. Like it was like it goes back to that acceptance. It was like, and I made a video about this a while back when Jesus appeared to me in the front room. I was at my mother's house, and it was like this. He began to tell me things between the lines, and were things about me, but it was all the stuff that were quirky, different little things and he revealed to me these are things that he adored and he loved about me so much, and I don't view myself in that way, but he does. And I tell people all the time, nobody on this planet is as hard on me as I am on myself. And I have to be that way, because I don't want to get prideful, and I don't want to get complacent, and I don't want to fall prey to deception or some kind of puffed upness due to religion, or somebody telling you how great you are. God has blessed me and blessed my family in a lot of ways to be gifted and talented in a lot of different areas, and just as many of you. And you really do have to put a cap on stuff so that you don't come up. You want God to be exalted and you to decrease, because it really is about him. All of this is about him and for him and through him. And the only reason we're able to do what we do is because of him. But, you know, Jesus shared those things in that dream, and it was just like this full love and acceptance. And then he even showed me the beginning part of being caught up. And yes, you do rise up off of the ground and begin to, you know, ascend upward. It is what it is. And now I've heard horror stories, you know, people like you
Like
had-
me. When I was in my lukewarm season, I really think it depends on where you are with the Lord and things that He'll show you. Because I was in my lukewarm season, and my dream, I got left behind. So I saw a different end of it. You know what I'm saying? The bad end, the end you don't want to be on. It's, you know, a non-believer don't believe. You know what I'm saying? They choose their side. But having the opportunity to know the Lord and still getting left behind,
Wow.
you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. Because having the Lord, I don't think you realize how wonderful it is to have Him. And I don't think people realize how He literally is with you. Physically. Spiritually.
Yeah.
We're connected. And in that dream, when He departed from me, I did not have Him, and I felt it physically in my body. My body started to become sick in that dream. I started to become sick and ill physically. Even in my body when I was sleeping, I was sweating. I felt ill, like my heart was clenching. I could just feel like, it felt like something was being ripped from my heart.
Yeah.
I couldn't breathe properly. Everything that works normally and functions normally when I have Him was not working properly at all. And you don't want to go through that. You really don't. It's not pleasant. It's not great. It's not fun. Don't do that. Don't be like that.
Who is
I ain't
this
gonna
that
lie
has
about
come? Who is this that has entered the video chat?
Just trying to keep it light and fun. Light and fun, because I'm not talking about anything. that's
Sure,
fun.
let's talk about people being left behind and then make jokes.
Oh no.
Ain't nothing funny
It's
about
not
it.
funny. That's not,
Not
funny.
funny.
No,
It's
I
not
know I
funny.
don't want to be in
But,
that number. That left
And like,
Yeah.
when that happened to me, I saw demons like outside of the window of this place that we used to live in. I saw a demon outside the window, and it was like laughing at me, pointing, laughing at me, like, ooh, like, you know
Wow.
exactly why. You know exactly why you're here. You
Yeah.
know exactly why you're in this position.
Wow. Yeah.
Laughing at me, and it didn't say anything, but I knew that's what it was thinking.
Yeah.
And like, nope.
And that's the thing about when a person dies and goes to their spiritual being, their spirit man, there's going to be no denial whatsoever. Everything is exposed nakedness. You know why you're there. You know there's nothing, you cannot argue with God before God and say, oh, you know, but no, I didn't know. You knew. The things, the sinful things in your sinful nature on this earth, you know. You just have this thing where you think you can suppress it or hide it, or it's a secret, and because no one else can see it and no one can discern it.
Yeah.
I'm going to lie to my own self and say,
wow.
it's not bad, it's not happening, and God's going to pass over this. And then that moment of truth
Yeah.
ain't nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
You cannot lie to God. You have to think about that next time you know you're finna get into something you're not supposed to be in. You already know it's wrong.
Yeah.
You know it is.
Yeah.
That's why it's a secret.
Yeah. I mean, you said something pretty significant, you know. When people begin to believe, you know, it's one thing when somebody got a lying spirit and they lying to other people, but you got people that get to a level where they begin to believe their own lies. I think at that point, I think that the spirit of Satan has really entered into this person. And hear me out, because this may be a revelation for somebody. The spirit of Satan gets into a person where you begin to believe your own lies. Who is it that's believing their own lie right now that they're going to defeat God? Who is it? Nobody other than the devil himself. He really believes that he's going to overthrow God. And then there are flashes of reality to him that he knows he ain't overthrowing God. But because he's being permitted just for a little bit longer to do the things that he's doing, he feels some momentum or something, and he's got his angels convinced, and he has the children of these angels convinced, the Nephilim and these other dark spirits that are convinced that they will defeat God, and in the meanwhile they torment humanity. They're permitted to torment humanity. God will have a glorious church. He will have a glorious church. He will have his children who worship him in spirit and in truth. He will have people who love him. He will have people who will obey him. He will have people to share his glory with, his kingdom with. He will have people to share in the things he has for us. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, it hasn't entered into the heart or the mind of man what God has in store for those that love him. He has plans beyond our imagination. We're only getting just a fraction of what's to come. We're getting a fraction, just enough for us to be able to make it in. We just have to trust and believe. Whatever you're doing, don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up. We're praying for you. We love you. We appreciate y'all.
Thank y'all for listening. We
Yep.
want to see those comments below.
You must comment. You must comment now. Yes. Do it like that. Type, type, type.